Former BJP President, former Union Minister and top BJP leader, Member of Parliament Venkaiah Naidu is representing the BJP on the Newshour tonight. Pinaki Mishra, senior advocate in the Supreme Court and Member of Parliament of the Lok Sabha. Thank you very much, Pinaki Mishra. Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, my first question is to you, spokesperson and Member of Parliament of the Congress Party. Sir, if the CBI had filed the FIR only to withdraw it later, or to say that now that the Prime Minister's office had said there was nothing wrong, the question is, Dr. Singhvi, can you hear me? Dr. Singhvi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, the question is, did the CBI need the Pradhan Mantri's permission? Did the CBI need the Manmohan Singh's permission to decide whether or not the decision was an act of criminal conspiracy?
Arnab, I've heard you loud and clear. I only hope that you will hear me for at least a minute before patience runs out.
No.
Certainly, it's a rhetorical question. Certainly, if the CBI requires permission from anybody, it perhaps would have sought permission before filing an FIR on a set of facts against Mr. Parekh, which involves the Prime Minister. At least one thing it shows even to our worst critics, that the CBI is functioning entirely on its own. Second point, I'll just make 2 points, allow me to make them. Second point is very interesting. Mr. Parekh never said that the Prime Minister is wrong or guilty. He said this is the sequence of events which happened. I think it's totally correct. The Prime Minister agreed with me. And if I am wrong, then the Prime Minister is wrong also. Please see the statement carefully. Thirdly, the Prime Minister's office has now recounted broadly the same sequence of events. I have no doubt, not only as a Congress spokesperson, but also as a lawyer, that if this is the sequence of events, which appears to be the only case of the CBI charge sheet, I don't understand how any criminality at all, much less an FIR.
Well, I mean, a simple research.
Open prior application. Just 1 second. 1 second. Let's complete. There's an open prior application by some corporate group. They pursue the application with letters. The state where it is located supports it. They go and openly meet the Prime Minister, the Secretary, and we are lamenting in this country that sometimes we don't have shoulders broad enough to decide, but here our shoulders broad enough to decide.
Sir, that is not the issue.
And after 8 years to create a criminality.
That is not the issue.
Today, what you are doing, this is the issue.
No, that's not the issue.
The PM has come out upfront. One last point. If the PM keeps quiet, you will start lambasting the government. If the PMO comes with a statement and the Congress comes with a statement, you are now lambasting on the ground that the CBI seeks the permission of the PM. The facts are there. Certainly the CBI has shown its independence, but certainly the CBI is entitled to see whether it's
Sir, I think
of law. Otherwise, it will be
and Dr. Singhvi, you know, I did not lose my patience after a minute, but I can see Venkaiah Naidu is losing his patience and wants to counter it. The simple point is this, as I go to Venkaiah Naidu, is this. That last week the FIR says, the last week the FIR says, and I quote from the FIR, it says the aforesaid information prima facie discloses commission of offences of criminal conspiracy and criminal misconduct by a public servant. Now, I do not think just because the PMO has now, government now realizes that you drag in Parekh, if you drag in Parekh, he's going to drag in the Prime Minister. Let's quickly get a clarification from the Prime Minister and bury the case. You know, that seems to be reverse logic, but Venkaiah Naidu wants to rebut you. Venkaiah Naidu, please. Venkaiah Naidu to the initial comments of Abhishek Singhvi.
Yeah, I heard my friend Sri Abhishek Singhvi. I totally agree with him.
You agree with him?
First of all, the CBI, I agree with him. First of all, the CBI should explain why they have registered an FIR. They talked of conspiracy, and then they said that criminality on the part of public servants. What does it mean? They named Parekh, who moved the proposal. They named Kumaramangalam Birla, who made an application. They omitted the name of the Prime Minister who has approved this proposal.
Omitted.
Then how the conspiracy is complete? CBI should explain this. And what is this tamasha going on in this country? You registered an FIR and there is so much furor in the country. And PMO gives some statement and clarification and asserts there is nothing wrong. And now the CBI according to the sources, is thinking of withdrawing the FIR. What is this tamasha happening? Whom they are trying to fool? What about the credibility of FIR? These are the issues that the CBI must explain to the people of the country. And also the Congress party, because the CBI is now known across the country as the Congress Bureau of Investigation. They thought they can fix up Kumaramangalam Birla because Kumaramangalam Birla's group has acquired some shares in the magazine of national importance, which is very highly critical in the recent months about the functioning of the government and the economic chaos it has created. And now that there is the criticism
you see,
all around the country, now the government is trying to wash off its CBI is trying to wash off its hands.
Yeah, I am only completely baffled at one thing. Which I would like Pinaki Mishra, keep aside for a moment the fact that the PMO is shooting over your shoulder. By the way, the Prime Minister's office, for viewers who don't know, is completely shooting over Naveen Patnaik's shoulder and the Orissa government, BJD government shoulder, saying, we did it because the Orissa government and Naveen Patnaik was pushing it. Leave that issue aside, we'll come to it later. No, 1 minute. Abhishek Singhvi, let me get him into the debate, then you can counter that. The simple question is, on process, please tell me, Mr. Pinaki Mishra, can the CBI now withdraw the case only and only because the Prime Minister's office has given a reply and said nothing was wrong? By that logic, if Raja said tomorrow that nothing was wrong in the 2G allocations, would that case also be closed? No, 1 second, Dr. Singhvi, let's hear Pinaki Mishra first. Yep, Pinaki.
I don't think this case can be closed so easily. This is a Supreme Court monitored investigation. And any closure that the CBI wishes to apply would for sure have to withstand the very, very close scrutiny of the Honorable Supreme Court. The bench is monitoring this case practically on a monthly basis. So therefore, I have no doubt that some searching questions will be asked in the event the FIR is closed in this manner. So I think these are basically rumors coming out. I don't believe the CBI is going to be stupid enough to file an FIR yesterday and close it tomorrow.
So they can't do it.
Possible at all in this country.
So you're saying they can't do it. If they try to do so, it is something that the court will frown upon. If they try to do so, it is something that will really compromise the CBI's integrity and independence even further.
Adam, my experience with the CBI is even if a PE is filed, they'd never shut down a PE. Even a preliminary inquiry for 2 decades, 3 decades carries on investigation. I mean, that's the state of the CBI in this country. It's a premier investigation agency, but it's pathetic. So forget an FIR. I have never heard of, 1 in a million FIRs or maybe 1 in 5,000, 10,000 FIRs of the CBI ever get, closed. They never apply a closure report. Everything is kept open-ended. Everything is, the sword of Damocles must keep hanging. That's the CBI in this country.
So, but in this case, the sword of Damocles must keep hanging on the Prime Minister? The sword of Damocles must keep hanging on Kumaramangalam Birla or Mr. Parekh?
Everything depends on how dispensable who is. If the Prime Minister is dispensable to the Congress party...
What are you suggesting?
Are
you suggesting this is an internal conspiracy? Are you suggesting this is an internal conspiracy to dispense with the Prime Minister?
I'm suggesting nothing of the sort. All I am saying is if the CBI has now registered an FIR, then they have to answer many questions if they are going to shut down this FIR or apply a closure to this FIR so quickly. There will be many searching questions.
Now Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you've heard the points. You want me to reiterate the points? First is Venkaiah Naidu says this is coming from the Congress party.
Let me respond.
No, Venkaiah Naidu says this is all coming from the Congress party. Pinaki Mishra says you cannot close the FIR. If you close the FIR now, then it will raise an even bigger controversy. Are you ready to take that risk?
Arnab, please. Arnab, let's just keep a sense of balance. I think the time has come when sensationalism can't count for everything. It may do good for TRP ratings, but I think the time has come for even political parties to stand together and call a spade a spade. First of all, nobody is talking about the government or the Congress directing a closure of the FIR. I can't help it if you build castles in the air, you put words in the mouth. Who has talked about closure of the FIR? the CBI, if it was so easy to close an FIR, would the government or the Congress party have had an FIR in the first place?
Dr. Singhvi,
which everybody is now saying, just let me complete,
Dr.
please,
Singhvi,
Arnav,
can I say verbatim what a senior CBI official
the Prime
said?
Minister.
Can I say verbatim what a senior CBI official said?
I am saying the CBI can do it. Please don't say that the Congress or the government.
How can the CBI do it? How can the CBI do it?
I am saying it is between the CBI and the court.
How?
Please don't bring the Congress party or the government
No, but how can the CBI change its mind on its own?
From the court to do it.
How can the CBI keep changing its mind?
I am not here. Look. Arnav, let me complete, please. You can do a cross-examination. Give me just 2 minutes, because it takes much longer. You'll actually get more time if you allow me to finish my point. The first simple point I'm making is whether the CBI can close it or not is between the CBI and at the most the court. It has nothing to do with the Congress party or the government.
So that's what you'd like people to believe.
That if it was a press of a button.
That's what you'd like people to believe.
Like people to believe. It was so simple. Arnav, it was like pressing a button or depressing a button. This would be not allowed to happen in the first place. Because you're implicating the Prime Minister.
Somebody's going to buy into that.
That's the proof positive that the CBI does it itself.
So you want, you want,
please.
Dr. Singhvi, 1 minute, can I please?
I'm amazed at the fertile imaginary models being built on the program.
Sir.
All I can point out is that, just a minute please. It's important for people to get up and say that look, merely because I meet a person who's an applicant, merely because the applicant persists in saying, please do the correct thing.
Let me first.
You are not scared of criminality.
Let me first.
And I would expect that the BJD should get up and say the same thing.
Sir, you
as
want.
the Congress is saying and as other people are saying.
So, of course, the BJD will be with you on this because you've dragged them into the controversy.
No, it's not with me. There's no question of dragging. The Prime Minister is as much involved. The Prime Minister
is involved in what?
He owned up to it. He has said nothing wrong.
Prime Minister is involved in what?
Brave enough to say up front.
No, Prime Minister is involved in what?
Farak is brave enough. He was the coal minister who approved the proposal of the Birla, approved by the coal secretary, recommended by the chief minister of Odisha. What is wrong with that?
Sir, Why
can't we say it on television?
Sir,
is the CBI God?
Sir,
are we so scared of the media that we can't say that there is no criminality in an
Sir, first of all, with the utmost respect, with the utmost respect, as they say in court, I take objection to your saying the pursuit of the intricacies of Coalgate is sensational journalism. If you make a case for criminal conspiracy and criminal misconduct one day, and the next day you say I will seek legal opinion on whether there was criminality involved in the matter, then I have every right to ask you why was the FIR botched up in the first place? Why was it? And how did you realize the FIR was botched up later, after filing it?
Please ask the CBI who filed the FIR.
So, but Venkaiah Naidu says the CBI is not that independent as you're trying to make it out to be. Venkaiah Naidu, 5 times Abhishek Manu Singhvi says ask the CBI. He says ask the CBI. It's not my concern.
No, Arnav, both CBI and Congress need to explain to the country. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I am asking both CBI and the Congress party also to explain to the country why this FIR was registered, why the name of the Prime Minister was omitted. Let us try to understand the sequence of events. Mr. Farak has proposed, and then his name is included. Mr. Birla's name is included in FIR. Then what about the competent authority? Competent authority is the Coal Minister, that is the Prime Minister of India. Why his name is omitted in the first instance? It is for the CBI and the Congress party to explain to the people. Don't take the country for granted. The entire country is watching. The tamasha is being done by the CBI and the Congress party in this issue. You cannot be casual. One day you file an FIR and second day you say that you are thinking of withdrawing it. The Prime Minister is very much involved because he has approved the proposal. If the proposer is wrong, then the person who has approved is also wrong. You are unnecessarily bringing in Sri Naveen Patnaik in between because simply made a recommendation or made a forward the proposal. Who approved it? The action is incomplete without the Prime Minister approving the proposal.
Say it tonight. Who approved it? Naveen Patnaik? No, who approved it? But no, 1 second. Who approved it? Naveen Patnaik or the Prime Minister?
On that reasoning, which is completely fallacious, Naveen Patnaik is as guilty and every other officer who signed on the file is as guilty. But I am saying that's ridiculous reasoning.
No, 1 second.
I am saying that
What
there
about
is
the Prime
no
Minister?
decision making in this country if you start saying that if you sign and approve something or if you recommend something openly and transparently, it is criminal. And in fact, you must remember the very important point, Arnab, that the CBI itself has said even in the original FIR that they are not even alleging quid pro quo. They are not alleging quid pro quo.
Now answer just one
They
question.
are saying merely because a judgment was reviewed
There is no question
and
of a...
facts were gone into.
No.
So leave it to the court-monitored investigation. What's the problem?
Sir, you are
leave
getting...
it. The
Sir-
court will ask the questions. The court will call the Prime Minister.
Why
if
you
they
have
want to
not
call the
named
Prime Minister?
Prime Minister?
What's the problem?
Why you have not named the Prime Minister?
Please ask the CBI. Please ask the CBI. If I had the power to write
Yes,
the
CBI
FIR
is
of the
functioning
CBI,
under it.
then on the basis of your attack on the Prime
the
Minister, you
CBI
should have
is
had an FIR.
The CBI is functioning according to whims and
That is an
fancies.
obvious
That's
fact.
everybody's knowledge. And there is a superintendent of police in the
It is
CBI who
obvious.
said that the requirement to examine the PM among the lengthy list of pending actions. Why the director of CBI has turned it down? You must explain to the people.
Because
Competent
people
authority
are
is
not
PM,
entitled to take out
Then why
peacefully.
his name is omitted?
Because you know very well, as a wise decision maker, that you don't pluck out decisions intermediate, you take out a decision of the institutional body as such. The matter is considered at all levels, and the CBI director has taken a decision institutionally. You don't pluck out a decision intermediate level and...
Sir,
throw it out of
if it is
context.
taken institutionally,
That's not the way
no, if
decisions
it is
are
taken
done. Why you not limited PM, na?
if it is taken
No,
institutionally,
Arnab, you are an advocate.
one minute.
Hello, Arnab. Abhishek is a very learned advocate. He must explain to the people why at the first instance the name of the Prime Minister is omitted. Who has approved the proposal?
Bec-
He is the
Because
competent
they
authority.
have obviously not found a whisper of a criminality, which is why they ought never to have filed
You
an
found
FIR in
fault.
the first place. I've said so clearly.
No, you found
Look, if they
you
make
found
one
a
mistake
criminality on the
A
part
and
of
B,
Subramanian
it
Birla
doesn't
and
mean
the
they are
Parade.
obliged to make a mistake C. No, 1 minute. Does your reasoning
What is
suggest,
it?
Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, that if you make a mistake A and B, you must make a mistake or C also, unless you include C and D also?
Sir, I'm very
the mistake
sorry.
is not complete.
Now I'll bring 2
What kind of
points.
reasoning is this?
I want to
What kind
bring
of
2
reasoning is
points
this?
to Abhishek Manu Singhvi's attention. And you know, Naveen Patnaik, you have heard what he has said here today. He says that Naveen Patnaik, Pinaki Mishra, he says, is as guilty, though he follows it up by saying then
I said not guilty. I said it's a ridiculous piece of reasoning.
That was
But I
your
said
second
by that
point.
ridiculous piece of reasoning, yes.
No,
yes,
you
would
said,
be.
you said
by the ridiculous piece of reasoning.
No,
yes.
you didn't say that. You said going by the same
course I
argument,
said that.
Naveen
Come on.
Patnaik is
Guilty.
as guilty.
Yes.
And then you went on to say,
I'm saying
though that
going
is
by
ridiculous
the same
reasoning.
fallacious argument.
My argument
I'm
is
sorry, Arnab, don't twist my words. I said fallacious argument, fallacious
sir,
reasoning,
please,
completely wrong.
Sir,
completely wrong.
Sir, I am
Arnab,
not in the
Arnab,
business of
may I just come in here?
twisting words. I am in the business of
I said
deciphering
so.
the
Please
true meaning
rewind
of
your
words.
camera. You'll hear me loud and clear.
No, I am in the business of
Rewind your camera and you'll find it clear.
I will roll the. I am in the business of assessing the true meaning of words. And my simple question to Pinaki Mishra is, Pinaki Mishra, take away the fact that Abhishek Manu Singhvi is trying to get you on his side in the course of this debate. So if you look at the cut and thrust of Abhishek Manu Singhvi's argument today, he's trying, like one lawyer to another, to get you on his side of the debate and say, look here, either both of us are guilty or both of us are not guilty. And therefore, keep in mind, whatever you say, Pinaki Mishra, there will be a
What
great
you are trying
temptation
to
of
do is
going
be a
along
very
with it.
poor Narad Muni.
No.
Arnab, you are doing a very
At
poor
a-
imitation
at a
act of a Narad Muni. Very unsuccessful Narad Muni.
Now, here's the
At
question.
At a personal level, let me tell you, Arnab, it's always a pleasure to be on Dr. Singhvi's side, whether in court or outside court. That's on a personal level. But really, let's leave the levity aside. What Naveen Patnaik has done is what a number of other chief ministers have done, who have had to attract investment to their states and who have had to, under their MOUs, been duty bound to recommend linkages, whether it's for coal, it's for iron ore, it's for manganese, it's for bauxite. Naveen Patnaik has written dozens of letters like this, Arnab, for everybody who's, we've got some 52 MOUs in our state, worth some 400,000 crores. So he's written dozens of letters, and not just for private entrepreneurs. He's written them also similarly for Manadi Coalfield, for Ib Valley. These are PSUs. So I've got here letters written by Shivraj Singh Chauhan of Madhya Pradesh, by Raman Singh of Chhattisgarh, by Captain Amrinder Singh, by Prakash Singh Badal, both opposite sides of the fence. I've got a letter here by Sushil Kumar Shinde, who was then the power minister, who has canvassed that a particular block should not be given entirely to one company. It should in fact be divided and given to some other company. So, if the Minister of the Union of India is canvassing.
One sec.
This is, as Manu says, it's par for the course. These are recommendations that we are duty bound to make. The Chief Minister of every state who has an MOU has a clause in the MOU that the state government will make all attempts to ensure
Pinaki Mishra, simple question. Did Naveen Patnaik write to the Prime Minister, and was Naveen Patnaik's file given to the Coal Ministry before or after the PMO wrote a letter to the Coal Ministry regarding this allocation? Before or after? If it is before, then I concede Abhishek Manu Singhvi's point that Prime Minister was guided entirely by what Naveen Patnaik said. But I find it is after.
I'm not even saying that. The Prime Minister is...
I find it is after.
Look, I believe, what Naveen Patnaik has done, he is blameless. Now, I don't know whether the fact that, the Hindalco company had petitioned the government, whether that weighed more, or whether the fact that the concerned Chief Minister of the state was also pitching in for them, whether that has also weighed a bit. I am not privy to that decision, Arnab. You will have to forgive me that if I can't comment, on
well,
that.
The fact is, the fact is...
My point is that Naveen Patnaik in this case has been even-handed. He has written for every company which he is duty bound to do under the MOU with any company, whether it's PSU or it's private company.
Pinaki Mishra, Abhishek Manu Singhvi will not like it, but the fact is that the PMO sent the letter to the Coal Ministry on the 25th of March 2005. And Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you'll be happy to note that the Coal Ministry was given the file with Naveen Patnaik's request on the 29th of August 2005, more than 3 months later. So the PMO had taken up its decision and recommended to the Coal Ministry before Naveen Patnaik's letter was forwarded much later. So anyway, I'm going to keep that aside. But your attempt to shoot off the Orissa government's shoulder is going to fall flat, you know that. You know that. You concede that.
Arnab,
that's point
before you go further,
you see,
problem is you try to be too much a devil's advocate, Arnab. It's time when people started speaking sensibly and solidly and standing behind a decision. Give me half a minute only, Arnab. It's time in this country where we always lament that people don't have broad enough shoulders to take a decision. I have never said that the Prime Minister's office was not part at some point of time of the decision making. I have never said that Parekh Coal Secretary was not. It matters zero whether Naveen Patnaik wrote before or after. Ultimate decision is of the central government. Naveen Patnaik is only a recommending authority.
Sir, you now, okay, let's get out of these technicalities.
One second. Where there is an outstanding civil servant, a very clear leader of the capital of industry, and the Prime Minister of the country, on a prior application giving a 10% share or a 15% share in a coal mine, 8 years later to have criminality,
right.
I think it's time we stood up and spoke up, irrespective of the fear of CBI, political opposition or the media.
Sir, that question which you ask, most aggressively, where you say we should have shoulders strong enough to take the burden of responsibility. What about the shoulders of the CBI director? Are the shoulders of the CBI director so weak that the whiff of pressure coming in on them makes him buckle? And can you tell me one example? I challenge you today, Dr. Singhvi.
Where is the buckling?
Sir, give me one example.
If there was buckling, there'd be no FIR in the first place.
Dr. Singhvi.
For God's sake, it's obvious.
Dr.
If there was buckling and this pressure and the Congress Bureau of Investigation are not the best proof of this not being a Congress Bureau of Investigation,
Dr. Singhvi,
that there is an FIR in the first place. Any commonsensical thinking will tell you that.
Dr. Singhvi, tonight on the program, you have accused me of lacking common sense. You have accused me of sensationalism and of twisting facts. While I will not, While I will not tread into the area of trying to counter you on those points, I want you tonight, to all the viewers of Newshour, I will rest my case right now, right here. If you give me one example where the CBI says one thing in an FIR related to an alleged act of impropriety 1 week and is close to changing it the next week. Is there any such example in the history of our country?
Who has said it's close to changing it? I don't understand. This is a figment of the imagination.
Well, now if you...
It is either has to come from the CBI and not from Arnab Goswami's speculation.
Well, it's all
or
over.
It has to come from the court.
Well,
where have you got this great source of information?
Arnab,
1 minute, half
sir,
a second.
sir,
where have you got this great source of information?
Sir, may I tell
that
you...
the FIR is being closed or has been closed, about
Sir,
to be
may I
closed?
tell you...
It's only between the CBI and the court. It's a court-monitored investigation. Congress cannot have anything to do with it. The government cannot have anything to do with it.
Maybe
and
now
your
you can.
speculation is idle.
No, Venkaya Naidu wants to come. Venkaya Naidu.
Arnab,
Go ahead.
Arnab, the CBI functioning is open to scrutiny by one and all in the country. How it acted in the case of Mulayam Singh Yadav's disproportionate assets case, how it acted Mayawatiji's disproportionate assets case, how it acted Jagadish Shettar's 1984 anti-Sikh rights case, how it acted Jagan Mohan Reddy's case in Andhra Pradesh, how it is acting in Yashrat Jahan's case, it's everybody's knowledge. It is acting as per the directions of the ruling party at the center, Congress party. Arnab, my second point is very simple. I have been a minister in the center for 20 months. My simple understanding of the functioning of the government is the accountability is of the person who ultimately takes the decision. That is the minister. Here in this instance, the minister is the Prime Minister. Why the CBI felt shy of including the name of the Prime Minister in the first instance is the FIR registered by the CBI.
I think he's asking you the question the second time, Dr. Singhvi, you should reply.
Second time, they have no reply at all. Neither he nor the CBI has no reply at all.
Arnab.
First, let him answer this simple question.
3 out of the 4
that will suffice first to end this
Let
debate.
me answer all the questions. Let me answer all the questions. Point number 1, Mr. Venkaya Naidu's 3 examples out of 4 are of court-monitored investigations. It is amusing to think that the CBI is being suborned by the Congress party in a court-monitored investigation where closure reports can be filed only after court permission. Number two, I am questioning your premise to which I have received. Let me complete. I am questioning your premise again and again. One second, half a second. I am questioning your premise.
Mr. Naidu is rebutting you.
Please. I am contradicting and questioning your premise, Arnab, repeatedly, that it's a figment of your imagination. Somebody has told you that it is being closed tomorrow as being closed. It can only be between the CBI and the court. You have no basis for saying Congress. To answer Mr. Venkaya Naidu directly, the CBI, you have to ask that question, not of me. But the CBI obviously would have found no criminality not to have added the Prime Minister in that charge. But I am saying that merely because you make a frivolous kind of an FIR against A and B, you are not obliged to include C to complete the circle.
So who's the competent authority? Naveen Patnaik.
You have to find criminality.
No, who's the competent authority? Who's the competent authority? Who's the competent authority? We've been asking this question. Pinaki Mishra, is Naveen Patnaik the competent authority?
Is not criminally liable.
No, 1 second.
No, that's a mistake. The competent authority is the minister in charge, but he's not criminally liable.
The competent authority is the Prime Minister. You admit the competent authority was the Prime Minister.
Yes. Could be. I don't know. Could be.
No, what do you mean could be? No, who could it be? It could either be the Prime Minister. You are saying the competent authority was the Prime Minister. You are saying the competent authority was the Prime Minister.
1 minute. Where are you getting the leap, Arnab? That a competent authority, assuming it's a competent authority, must be included in every FIR. Where do you get that from?
Well, the reference is to competent authorities 3 or 4 times in the FIR, Dr. Singhvi. That's where we've got it from.
You have to find criminality. Arnab.
The act as per...
criminality is the...
No, watch it. Okay, Venkaya Naidu,
Arnab. Sri Kumaramangalam Birla meets the Prime Minister. The action starts from there. Kumaramangalam Birla meets the Prime Minister. Prime Minister forwards to the Coal Secretary. Coal Secretary sends some proposal and the Prime Minister in his own wisdom accepts it. You are saying attributing criminality to Kumaramangalam Birla. criminality to Foray,
How are you
who is supposed
exactly?
to be one of the honest officers of the country, and then you exempt a Prime Minister from the criminality.
No,
One.
no, please.
Secondly, Mr. Singhvi is giving certificate to the CBI about its functioning in the court-monitored case. In the same court-monitored case of coal scam, Sri Ashwini Kumar, Law Minister, summoned the CBI Director, dictated certain changes in the affidavit to be filed before the Supreme Court, and it was carried, and the CBI Director himself has filed an affidavit before the Supreme Court saying he was summoned by the Law Minister, and then certain changes were mentioned, and the coal officers who are in charge of Joint Secretary of the Coal Ministry were present. They also suggested some changes. What are you trying to give certificate to the CBI about its functioning? It is open. They have been exposed umpteen number of times. Now you are caught pants down in this particular case. Singhvi, don't argue a wrong case.
No, the case is very simple, Pinaki Mishra. No, the case is very simple, Pinaki Mishra. Who's the competent authority? Is the competent authority Kumaramangalam Birla, the man who makes the request? The intermediary, Mr. Parekh? Or the person who takes the decision? Or the person who makes another recommendation later, which is Naveen Patnaik? Or the person who takes the decision, which is the Prime Minister?
Look, I think, in fairness to Dr. Singhvi, even Dr. Singhvi has very fairly said that the competent authority, obviously, in this case, is the Prime Minister.
Is the Prime Minister.
But the point is, that is there any culpability? Let's be fair, is there culpability? If the CBI finds culpability, I have no doubt that the CBI will include whoever is the competent authority in the FIR.
But the CBI already finds.
So far, let's not jump.
The CBI already finds in its FIR. The CBI finds prima facie commission of offence of criminal conspiracy and criminal misconduct by a public servant. The CBI finds that.
I think the FIR will entail, the FIR will entail a detailed investigation. I think we are, in a sense, for the first time, I will say, being a little unfair to the CBI, although there is much to be unfair to the CBI about. But we are really being unfair to the CBI because I don't think that the CBI is planning to file a closure report at all. I think this is completely, unverifiable or unverified media speculation.
No, one second. Entirely possible.
Without the Supreme Court's permission, this closure report cannot be filed.
So they cannot. So what if the Supreme Court says tomorrow, who is the competent authority? Who is the competent authority to take the decision?
The CBI will have to answer. The CBI will have to answer.
Dr. Abhishek Singhvi. Dr. Singhvi.
Arnab, in your dictionary, the moment somebody says X is the competent authority, in your dictionary, competent authority equals culpability. What's the point of asking the question? The question is Mr. XYZ culpable? CBI doesn't think so. The CBI will be tomorrow hauled up in court, and the court will say, look, the Prime Minister is obviously culpable, why did you make him a party? Or the court may say, Mr. Parekh and Mr. Kumar...
Okay, let me ask you one question.
Why did you file an FIR?
Let me ask you...
Let the court decide. How can you decide on a channel?
No, let me ask you one question then. No, I don't want to decide.
Why did you not make the Prime Minister?
You cannot be selective.
No, let me ask you one question, Dr. Singhvi.
You cannot be selective.
Dr. Singhvi, take the example of 2G. I have 1 minute left on the debate. I must ask you this. The main accused, A. Raja, said all his decisions were with the knowledge of the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. Did the JPC allow him to depose in person? Did the JPC allow anyone, the Prime Minister, to be summoned?
TV programs are not. Let me answer. This is the problem of TV programs. In criminal law, you can't extrapolate facts and jump from 2G to Coalgate. The sequence of files, the sequence of facts in 2G may be one. The sequence of events and facts in Coalgate is another. Here, there is a narrow issue we are discussing. That one company which had applied earlier felt it was injustice to it to exclude it. It openly approached everybody. There is a statement by the CBI that there is no allegation of quid pro quo. That's a major difference, by the way, with the allegations in the 2G. Just by the way, to give you a very important difference. And the whole country jumps on. Look, remember Arnab, there is an old Indian saying, Hindi saying, which Mr. Venkaya Naidu knows well. Dharmo rakshate rakshate. If you don't uphold the law, when the law comes knocking at your door, the law will not uphold you. So I think it's important.
No, what is that? Is that a veiled threat of the BJP?
Political gains.
Is that a veiled threat of the BJP?
You start attacking the Prime Minister.
Did I hear a threat?
Attacking the Prime Minister.
Well, I think that's a veiled. 1 second. That's a veiled threat. Abhishek Manu Singhvi put out, and therefore Venkaya Naidu. In other words,
No, I'm saying if you bend the law will not protect. It's supposed to protect everybody. I'm telling you a well-known saying.
Dr. Singhvi, Venkaya Naidu, on the last 30 seconds of the debate is responding.
You have these kind of extrapolations.
On the last 30 seconds of the debate is responding. Yes.
Arnab, Arnab, we are missing one simple point. My friend is trying to avoid the direct answer. Does it mean to say that the CBI, without proper application of mind, names Mr. Parekh, Secretary Coal, damns him, names Kumaramangalam Birla, damns him, and feels shy of naming the Prime Minister because he is the Prime Minister and the boss of this government? Why this selective approach? Why this pick and choose?
Can I answer you?
Now wisdom has dawned on you. One minute. 1 minute. Now the wisdom has dawned on you because the Prime Minister name is coming up and you say that they have not concluded the inquiry. Then why you named those two people at the first instance without making a proper inquiry and proper application of mind?
Venkaiah ji, you are asking this question not of the CBI, you are asking me. And you are asking me who has said on day one and repeated it
So,
three
but the
times,
court said the CBI is a caged parrot.
Yes, the CBI, 1 second, the CBI is wrong as far as Mr. Parekh and Mr. Birla are concerned. As far as your case about Mr. Prime Minister is concerned, that of course I don't agree with your framing of the words. But I have said so. The CBI, as you know, need not be infallible. It can make a mistake. We believe it's made a mistake. They will decide. Let the court decide. From there you can't extrapolate and say that we are withdrawing the FIR. I am not speaking for the CBI. On the contrary, I have been critical of the CBI. You are asking, in this whole discussion,
meanwhile you want to damn Kumaramangalam Birla and Parekh.
Congress and CBI's alter ego. I am critical of the CBI.
Okay, gentlemen, we're up time on this debate.
You are worried about the Prime Minister's image, not worried about Parekh and Kumaramangalam Birla.
You see, I'll now end with one little anecdote. Abhishek Singhvi said, I'll take only 20. Abhishek Singhvi says, why do you make these things up? Abhishek Manu Singhvi, I can assure you that the entire media in the country has not made this up. Across the entire media. And there were informal briefings at the CBI headquarters. So. I didn't want to be very, I didn't want to reveal all this, but I'll tell you this. At informal meetings at the CBI headquarters, certain CBI officials said, now what are we going to do? Then they said, doesn't matter, let there be a clarification and we'll let there be a clarification and we will.
You have the great privilege.
Let there be a clarification and we'll take the case back.
Reliable, now unnamed sources. I have no such privilege. I react only when I hear the guys saying what you are saying. You certainly must be having your unnamed reliable sources. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury.
Right. I'm sure you know, but we won't take this further. But you know what they said, Dr. Singhvi? They said, we're only waiting for a clarification. Now it's possible that after the media scrutiny, they will say we won't do the U-turn.
I don't. Believe me, I don't.
Because there's both...
You dance on two people and then you go by clarification.
There's court and media scrutiny on this case. But anyway, we're following the story. Let's see if anyone can pass the buck or anyone can blame everyone else. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.